Hello again, Pastor John here. We are continuing with our book called You Are Released for Increase. This is chapter 2 of this book, You Are Released for Increase. It's available to you at our website, www.oasisministriesny.org, or just go to amazon.com, put in John Curcio, You Are Released for Increase. You'll find it there. Chapter 2 is a little bit of my journey. And my journey brought me to this book, to writing this book, because I believe finances and how we deal with finances play a big role in our life. Certainly, it's either the number one or number two reasons for divorce in our marriages. It plays a role in everybody's life. And Jesus said you're going to serve one or two gods. You're going to serve Him or Mammon. You can't serve both. He said you're going to serve God or Mammon. So we got to choose. Money should serve us, and we should serve God, and then use our money to serve Him and to bless Him and to honor Him. But my journey was that I was brought up in a middle-class home. We were not poor. We were a middle class. We had our needs met, but there wasn't a sense of abundance always around. Or at least I wasn't aware of it. It always seemed like my dad was struggling to make ends meet and get his bills paid. And I remember the fights in the home. It wasn't pleasant. They did our best to get us good gifts and make Christmas great, but it always at a cost of going into debt, which probably created more stress. And then at 10 years old, my dad passed away. He was in a horrible heavy equipment accident. And so my mom faced a very tough season. And she worked very hard to keep us afloat and did all that she could to keep us in the game and make sure that we had food on the table. And one day, she decided to sign up for the lunch program at our school, at our high school. It was called the meal tickets. And so basically, I got my meal ticket every day at high school. I'd go to the principal's office, pick up my meal ticket, and go get a free lunch. Now, thank God for that program. And thank God for Social Security benefits that kicked in to help my mom. It's all wonderful. Thank God for that. But in my little brain, I kept registering, I'm just that poor little boy who lost his dad, who can't afford lunch. Every time I picked up my meal ticket, I'm just that poor little boy who lost his dad, and now he's got to have school lunch because he's poor. And unbeknownst to me, subconsciously, I was taking this in a poverty mentality. Now, you say, well, you shouldn't have felt that way. Well, as a young man, that's how it registered to my brain. My family, everybody was doing their best. My older brother and my mom doing their best to make sure there was food on the table and clothes on our back. But I felt poor. The loss of my dad was one thing, and then this was another thing. And it just affected me as I got older, and I didn't realize it. Certainly, poverty is not an actual having or not having money. It's a spirit. And it's an attitude, and it's a belief system. There are rich people who have a poverty spirit. They're afraid to lose their money, so they hoard. Right? So, the Bible tells us a liberal soul will be made fat. A generous person will have abundance. And wealth is not measured by a certain number that you earn. Wealth is measured by generosity of spirit and heart. So, here I went through my life as I grew older and had my own family. I was very, I guess you would say, I lacked the confidence to run the household financially. I lacked the insight, the wisdom. And I pleaded with God for help, but I had to change the way I thought. And fortunately, God began to help me change the way I was thinking, and got rid of the poverty mentality. I was a tough nut to crack. It took some time, but after years of struggling, I've come through it, thank God. One of the problems a poverty mentality creates is a debtor's mentality. And that debtor's mentality is a belief system that there is not enough money to go around. Number one. Number two, the banks are hoarding all the money and they monopolize all the wealth. And last, there's no room for creativity, only competition. That mentality brings you to the brink of poverty, if not bankruptcy, which I've been there, close to it. And so, though I never went bankrupt, the pressure to go bankrupt was there intensely. I needed to understand that wealth was not just for a select few. And I had to begin to understand that the laws of increase were governed not just by some big shots on Wall Street, but the laws of increase are governed by God, who owns everything, the silver and the gold, the cattle on 1,000 hills. He owns everything. So there are laws that govern our natural universe, such as gravity, and there are laws that govern increase in our life. We need to learn these laws and apply ourselves to them so that they can work for us. Some of the chapters that we'll be getting into in the future are really exciting, and I want you to enjoy them. Excuse me, I just have to move my legs here. They're a little cramped. I'm sitting at a park here in Patchogue. I love the outdoors in the summer. But the scriptures teach us that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. In other words, how you think affects what comes to you and how you are as a person. So I had to change my thinking. So do all of us. Some of us more in some areas and some of us in other areas. Some struggle with healing and health, and they need to change their thinking about healing. That it is God's will for you to be healed and healthy. And it is God's will for you to prosper and have increase and have enough for yourself and for those around you. So we need to trust God. Wealth is coming to many people fast these days. A lot of young people are gaining wealth at a very rapid rate. My concern with this is not that question whether wealth will come, because it will, if you'll trust Him, is that you manage it well. The fast track to wealth is good, but if you don't have the wisdom to manage it, it'll destroy you. The prosperity of a fool destroys him, Proverbs 132. We don't want to be fools. We want wisdom. So follow me along on this and the coming weeks. There'll be about 30 chapters. So follow along and study with us and get this inside your spirit that God wants you to be released for increase. God bless you and thank you for joining us. And we love you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May He make His face shine on you, be gracious to you, and give you peace as He lifts up your countenance. We love you. Remember, He became poor, that through His poverty you could be made rich. We love you. God bless you.